Joining us now, Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House, and the creator of Defending America course. It's on his website. Newt Gingrich is with us. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I have to say, I don't think when this book came out and the tour began, I didn't really expect the level of shrinkage. You know, he's going from 6'8", and by the end of the tour, I think he'll be about 5'2". I mean, liberals are attacking him. The members of the Obama administration are attacking him. Conservatives are attacking him. He's managed to have a range of people describe him as dishonest that is really pretty remarkable. And
you know what my favorite was?
At the same time, I got what?
My favorite was, I think he's 6'8", the former FBI director, trying to hide with the blue curtain to avoid the president. I'm like, really? You got to be kidding me.
It's just, he's a very big guy physically, but I do think psychically he has been shrinking with every interview. And I got intrigued this morning, so I went back. I reread Rod Rosenstein's report, which he gave to President Trump just before the president fired Comey. And then I read the recently released Inspector General's report on McCabe. And what's really sobering, and here I think what Alan Dershowitz was saying is so important, you had the #1 and #2 people in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, both engaged in behavior that clearly violated the law. I mean, I think the whole depth, the idea that the top 2 people in what is our preeminent law enforcement agency in the entire country, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Literally now you've had an internal report by the Inspector General saying McCabe clearly lied. You've had this analysis by Rod Rosenstein, which if you've never read all of it, is really staggering in the degree to which it repudiates Comey. And that's what President Trump got just before he decided to fire him. These two taken together, it's very sobering to think you had that depth of corruption at the very top of the FBI.
Well, then look at all the people that have either been demoted or McCabe fired, or people that will be fired, I'm sure, as a result of this. And then ultimately, I do believe criminal action will be taking place. I want to go back to this important question. You know, we have a FISA court. I can't imagine James Comey saying, well, it could be true at this late date, meaning that Clinton bought and paid for a Russian dossier. And that was, and he knew she paid for it, and that was the basis, the Grassley-Graham memo, the bulk of the application that they used to get the warrant to spy on a Trump campaign associate. That, to me, is criminal. You don't lie before a judge, nor do you write exonerations before you even interview the person. He did that, too.
Well, look, I mean, clearly, if you were to go through all of the falsehoods, whether talking to Congress or in other circumstances, all of the things that Comey's done, clearly there are a substantial number of indictable grounds. The case was made today by a very senior attorney in Washington, writing in a legal journal, that if you read the Inspector General of McCabe basically did exactly what General Flynn did. Now look how General Flynn has been treated, and then look where McCabe is right this minute. So clearly, if you were to apply the law and not just apply the social norms among good friends, both McCabe and Comey, I think, would be at very serious legal risk at this stage.
The new Comey standard, if we're going to use the Comey standard, #1, I guess everybody's part of a crime family if you disagree with James Comey, which is outrageous in and of itself. But the standard is, it might be possible, then let's therefore present it to a judge so the judge won't know who paid for it, the judge won't know it's unverified, and the judge will then issue a warrant to spy on an American citizen. Because it may be possible. It's possible.
Well, look, it's the #1 thing to recognize out of everything we've learned from James Comey is that this is the world, according to Comey, in which Comey is always right. So at every stage, if somebody else disagreed, he's disappointed in them. He doesn't, and this is a point that's made by Rosenstein in his memo to the president, that Comey seems incapable of learning from his mistakes, or incapable of even thinking that they're mistakes. And so, I mean, the level of danger we had in having an FBI director who had this level of megalomania and who decided that he would supplant the Attorney General. And whether you like or dislike Loretta Lynch, she was the Attorney General. Now, no FBI director has the authority to decide that he will now replace her, and yet that's what he did in explaining why he had to announce what he did about Hillary Clinton, that he was protecting the institution. It wasn't his job to protect the institution. It's an act of stunning arrogance to believe that he was the only perfect person in an otherwise flawed world.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Speaker, always good to hear your insight.